So you've enabled Google Drive as part of your Google Apps. You'll notice a few things that are different. The first of all, in the top black bar for your Google Apps, how you choose between each one of them, you'll now see Drive instead of Docs. That's going to change now permanently, so you won't see Docs there, you'll see Drive. When you open up Drive, you'll notice it looks a lot like Google Docs. The issue though is that it's not like Google Docs. A lot of things have changed. The first thing you'll notice is on this left-hand side, instead of Home, you now have My Drive, which is not Home. It's very interesting. It doesn't operate like Home does. My Drive is just a collection of everything that you create. So unlike Home, where everything came up, My Drive is just what you create or what you put into your drive. So you have a little bit more control. The drop-down arrow next to My Drive will contain collections that you own. Now, mine's going to look a little different because I've already added collections that have been shared with me. You probably haven't yet. So that's just what My Drive is. It's everything that you have created or something that you've specifically put in My Drive. So Shared With Me is a little harder to find. It's right underneath it. When you click Shared With Me, this is where you will see those documents that have been shared with you, as well as the person that has shared them. If you would like them to go into My Drive, you simply just drag and drop into My Drive. And you'll notice behind my shared folders that it says My Drive next to it. These were actually not originally in My Drive. So when I added Google Drive, I had to come into this part, the Shared With Me, and move these over myself. Same with any documents. So this April 20th questions from Ellen that I'm looking at, I haven't put that in any collection, nor have I put it in My Drive. So right now it's just in Shared With Me. I would not be able to see this on my computer in the hard drive, in the folder that's been added to my computer called Google Drive. So that's just a little bit of a difference. One thing I would like you to notice is if you move something, so like if I try to drag and drop this out of Shared into My Drive, it'll come up and tell me you have removed an item and other users will no longer see this item in the shared folder, so I can click undo. So it's nice to get that warning now. No longer can people move things without being told, hey, if you move it, it's going to take it out of the collection. It's a nice feature that they've added. A couple other things on the side here, Recent and Starred. Starred is a great way to find those things that are really important to you that you don't want to have to go dig for. So it's a great place to keep that. Recent is everything that's you've recently opened or edited, which is exciting. And then you click More. Activity is what you once knew as your home page. So Activity is where you can see which doc has been opened most recently. And this is also where almost every single doc resides that of course has been opened and edited recently. All items is where you can see everything regardless if they are shared with you or in My Drive. And then the button that I really like is down here called Owner, Type, and More. In Google Docs, you had very limited search capabilities. You could search by type, you could search by title, you could search by person, but now you have a lot more capability. I can search specifically for forms. And then within forms, I can search for an idea. So I put in smart to see what smart forms I had created. So that's a nice feature that didn't exist before. The other thing, of course, is up in this search bar. So you have Owner, Type, and More down here. But then up in the search bar, this same menu will pop down. So I can look to see things that are just private. So it assumed I wanted smart, but this is just private, which means I've limited who can see this. So myself and so many other people, or other people have limited who can see the document, but they're sharing it with me. So that's a really neat interface with Drive. A couple other things. So that's the left-hand side. Over here on the right-hand side, you'll notice that sorts become a little bit bigger. So now you can sort by title. Now you can sort by last modified, last opened by me. You have a list view, and then you have a grid view. So now you can see previews of your documents instead of a list, which some people like that visual aspect of searching. I tend to be a list girl. And then of course you have your settings button. The really important thing in this gear that I think that you should know about is temporarily use the classic look. If I click that, it takes me back to what I'm familiar with in Google Docs. So if for some reason you ever lose something or you get confused and you want to, I want this to look like Google Docs, you can turn it back on. The way to get back to Drive, or the interface of Drive, is to click that drop-down menu and click Return to Drive. So that's Google Drive in its basic interface. We will create a couple other videos to help you know how to use Google Drive on your computer. So thank you, and I hope you enjoy using Google Drive.